it goes from Chuck, and they hire him in 2018-19 or towards the end of that season. Really, the first year was full 19-20, and obviously with the first year of AV too. He comes in and cap space was pretty good. Everybody was on a good contract. Obviously he traded Simmons at the deadline a little bit before the end of that year. Cap hit, caps. You guys had cap space. I believe the prospect pool was ranked number 1 by ESPN at one point going into that year. Fan base seemed decently high. I mean, obviously we were hoping for a better year, and everything kind of just went to shit. I mean, from that year to, that was the good year. He came in, made a couple of moves, obviously got Hayes, Braun.
Hazy was Hazy. I know he got a lot of shit for Hazy, but Hazy was a good signing. Like the way he played his position, like behind Kuz, like he was really tough to play against. Like he was good in his role, right? And also everything started falling apart. Then Hazy became expendable, obviously, right? But with Kuz out, Hazy playing number 1 center. It's kind of hard. But so what was her? I think. What I think, I'm not really sure. That's just my opinion, right? I think he got fooled by AV. AV was like, this guy is fucking, I want him out of here. That guy, Ghost, I want him fucking out of there. He doesn't bring anything to the team. He's fucking, because I always stood up for the guys, or I fucking say whatever I thought. I always got shit from the coaches, especially from him, because, his ego was so fucking high that he couldn't fit in the door sometimes. And so he was like, okay, well, you just signed me for 5 years, $5 million contract. I'm going to call the shots now. So Chuck was handcuffed, in my opinion. So he was like, I want this fucking guy out of here. I want this guy out of here. We need more of this, more of that, more of that. So then obviously Chuck made it happen, and they weren't performing. Then the start of the season was brutal, if I remember correctly. For the guys, they were going through the same shit. And what I heard that he absolutely checked out. As a coach in the middle of your contract when you basically calling the shots. So Chuck was absolutely screwed because he put his trust in the wrong hands.
Yeah, like by Thanksgiving of that year, they were done. I mean, they weren't close to a playoff spot. They were losing a lot of games. Power play stunk.
Then you still gotta do your fucking job.
Right.
You know what I mean? We were out of the playoffs sometimes, and we still went to the game, and we were playing our fucking nuts off sometimes. Some of those years. Right? Simmer, fucking Ultimate Warrior, G, Kuz, like Shenner, like, Chemo, whatever. We always played hard. No matter what, we always played hard. So if you see that somebody above you isn't in there mentally, and he's just checked out and he's saying, "Oh, do whatever the fuck you want," what was going to happen?
Because I heard stories like that too, where he just gave up, where it was like, all right, and
how can you do that?
Yeah.
How can you do that? It's just so fucking. It's exactly. And you know what? I didn't tell that to the guys on the team. Actually, I did. I'm fucking full of shit now. I said it to obviously my closest guys that we've been together for a decade, Kuz and G. I was like, guys, you guys gonna have a fucking hands full with it because he's not doing it the right way, and he's gonna stab you in the back, like in any second he's gonna get any chance.
Yeah.
And
does part of you look at? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but does part of you look at, with Chuck then, that at least some of it where it was like, he could have also done his job too and let AV go? Because to be fair, he made a lot of moves getting Ellis versus the line, and obviously they got, Atkinson back for you that summer. And the biggest thing in my opinion, Jake, was they made all the moves, kept AV in the same coaching staff, and had the same shit issues, and nothing changed. And then they were still had injuries and everything else, and Ellis played 4 games, and the season was done by November.
Well, you gotta understand that it's only 2 years since you hired him, so you're under a lot of pressure. If the guy that you hired, you're gonna fire 2 years later on a 5-year contract, right?
Yeah,
and obviously with AV's being such a good communicator with the media, with the fucking whoever else he needed to. Well, he might have got fooled as well, and it was just that's my opinion on it. Like I said, I respect AV as a coach, what he's done in New York and Vancouver, because there's a success behind him. Let's be honest, right?
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. Things. Yeah.
But if you quit on something, that's your fucking job. Kind of respect you deserve. Fucking none. That's my personal, honest opinion on those things.
Right.
And I kind of felt bad. I had a COVID with Columbus, but I came to Philly on the day of the game, and I played that game. And I went into the locker room, say hi to everyone before and after the game. We had a beer with G and Coots and Hazy and all those guys, like 15 guys having a beer together, like we did in the old days. So we kind of discussed that what's going on, and they were just down. You see, they were just hope. There was no hope. There was no energy, and like I said, it's really hard when things go the wrong way. But those guys done it before. You know what I mean? We went through a lot of shit, and they've done it before, and they rised up, or we rised up, and just could tell that there was something going on there, and obviously Yossi was at the helm by that time we played him. We played Philly, but that energy it's really hard to kind of get rid of, and unfortunately it went downhill from there and even before. But yeah, that's my ending in Philly.